How many times you have started hours-long podcast and never able to finish, and when you went back, you find it difficult to connect with podcasts. To avoid that, please subscribe to most advanced, featured, and accurate channel, Quick Podcast Summaries. Stephen Bartlett has been forced into a bet with his team. As they're about to hit 10 million subscribers on YouTube, they want to have a massive party for the people who have worked on the show for years behind the scenes. For every new subscriber they get in the next 30 days, $1 will be given to their celebration fund.
Dr. Daniel Amen is a guest on the show, and he explains that everyone has a brain that controls everything they do, think, and feel. Most people know this, but they don't realize that their bad decisions, sadness, anxiety, insomnia, and poor relationships are all related to the physical functioning of their brain. To be happier, people need to think about loving and caring for their brain.
Stephen mentions that Dr. Amen has scanned brains, and Dr. Amen reveals that he scanned around 260,000 brains, including those of famous people like Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, Mel Gibson, Muhammad Ali, and Mike Tyson. Stephen also had his brain scanned by Dr. Amen, and it taught him a lot.
Dr. Amen explains that the word brain rot was the word of the year. And it's because people are worried that their habits are shrinking their brain, especially with social media and digital addictions. He hopes that people will focus on brain health instead.
Stephen and Dr. Amen discuss the impact of content on the brain, and Stephen mentions that they've talked about chemicals, drugs, and alcohol, but not about the impact of pornography on the brain.
Dr. Amen explains that exposing developing brains to pornography is dangerous, and it can deaden the nucleus accumbens, which is the area of the brain that responds to dopamine. This can lead to needing more and more stimulation to feel anything. Dr. Amen also mentions that this is applicable to all things that cause a sharp burst of dopamine and stimulation, such as fame, gaming, and gambling. He emphasizes that people should protect their brain until they're 25, and then their brain will protect them.
Stephen asks Dr. Amen about the evidence that alcohol is bad for the brain and body, especially in moderation.
Dr. Amen mentions that the U.S. Surgeon General wants to put cancer warning labels on all alcohol, and the American Cancer Society has come out against any alcohol consumption. He also explains that alcohol is detrimental to brain function and can cause trouble in people's lives. Dr. Amen has scanned many people who are alcoholics, and he explains that a brain that has been drinking heavily for a long period of time will show a global decrease in activity, a wavy appearance, and a smaller brain size. He emphasizes that brain size matters, and losing brain tissue can impact mood, memory, spatial orientation, and spatial processing.
Stephen and Dr. Amen discuss the symptoms of someone who has damaged their hippocampus, including poor memory, poor spatial awareness, brain fog, mood issues, and judgment and impulse control problems.
Dr. Amen also mentions that people who stop drinking can wake up feeling 100% every day, and that's what people want. Dr. Amen argues that people might think that drinking serves them in the short term, but it's not a good trade-off in the long run. He mentions a study on monkeys that showed a decline in new brain cell development and a reduction in the survival rate of new cells from alcohol use. He emphasizes that people should focus on brain health and avoid things that damage their brain. If you want to listen to the complete summary, please subscribe to Quick Podcast Summaries on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for less than the price of candy in most places, and you can save an average of 15 to 20 hours per week of your precious time. It's a great way to stay informed while saving time.